It is time for us to look at the core feature of Supabase, which is actually to read, insert, delete or update elements inside our table. Okay, so right now I'm on my Supabase instance, and I currently have one table called orders. And orders is composed by an ID created at client ID, price, address, zip code, city, etc., etc. So what I would like to have is a set of fake orders to start. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my SQL editor, and I already prepared a fake script to insert fake orders inside my table. We will insert all these fake orders inside the table orders. And later what we're going to do, we are going to use the SDK of Supabase to fetch all those orders here. And what we will do also is to do some operations on them. So we are going to read them for sure, then we will try to insert a new order, then we will delete some orders. So let's go. On my SQL editor right now, I have created a new query and I'm going to rename it. It's going to be insert 20 fake orders. Okay, so I'm going to rename the query this way, and there we go. And here I'm just going to copy paste a list of fake orders that I have created based on my model. So my table orders is composed by colon address, colon zip code, city, name, ID, client ID, and created at. And there we go, success, no row returns. It means that my query didn't fail and it worked. I'm supposed to get right now all the orders in my table orders. I'm going to go to it. And there we go, I got fake orders. We are missing the price for now. Sorry, it's a mistake, but we will be able maybe later to change it. Now I got all those fake orders. What I'm gonna do, and remember on my Vue.js app right now, I got the SDK installed and I have my session, I'm logged in. So what I'm gonna do, first I'm going to check on my database, and we never know, I'm going to check on my database if I got the row level security. Okay, so I got enabled the row level security, okay? And what about the policies of it? So I'm going to get back to the table orders here. I'm going to click up there and we see that I got one active row level security. So we can see that we enable the insert for authenticated user only. However, I want to grab them. Click on new policy. I'm going to click on get started. And here we are. So enable read access to everyone. It's not exactly what I want. What I want is to select only if you are authenticated. Later, we will work maybe on adding a column with the user ID to know who created the current order and to manage only the current user to grab his orders, not the orders of somebody else. So I'm going to click on review. I'm going to click on save policy, so to authenticated only role, and I'm going to save that. And there we go. So now we see that we can select the orders for authenticated. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on API docs down there. And here what we've got is that here, every time we are going to create a new table, we will have all the code generated by the SDK for my tables. So here I got clients, of course, but here I got orders also. So I'm interested in orders. And here we see that we got some code that we can copy paste directly inside our application to get our orders. Okay, so here I'm not interested on getting only one key. What I would like to have is to have all the orders. Okay, so let's say that I'm going to grab this, I'm going to copy this, there we go. Again, if I would be logged in as a user to grab my orders, what I would do as a super admin, I would tell in the policies to be able to grab only my orders. Okay, back in my application, what I can do is to import Supabase, okay, coming from Supabase, there we go. Okay, so it's my Supabase instance, which is here with my create client. And what I'm gonna do at first is to create a function, okay? So it's going to be fetch orders, which will be, of course, an asynchronous function. In here, I'm going to create a try catch function, and inside I'm going to catch the error. So I'm going to console log my error. And if there is orders, I want to console log them. So I'm going to console log my orders. There we go. What I'm going to do here, I'm on Vue.js, but it's going to work also on React, Next, Svelte, SvelteKit, whatever. I'm going to launch this function here, and let's go. So here, it's not an asynchronous component or whatever. We don't care for the moment. We just want to look at our orders. And look at this, there we go. I got all the fake orders I had before without the price. And as we see here, we've got all the data we asked. So as you see here, just this piece of code and using the SDK of Supabase is helping me to grab actually a table and to select by using select here from orders to grab all the orders that I wanted. Okay, so let's say now I want to grab only, for instance, I want to grab only the name, okay, and the ID. Instead of putting the store, I'm going to put the ID, and let's say that I would like to have the name, okay? So let's get back, let's look at it, and look at this. We are selecting only the ID and the name, which is really, really cool because sometimes we don't want to grab all the data. We would like to be fast and just to have some elements of the orders. So here I'm just selecting the ID or the name. For the foreign table, I will do another video about it to explain deeper how we can grab some data from another table based on a specific column, okay? So also what I can do, which is really cool, is that I can work with the pagination with range. So here I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to get back. And instead of having the ID and the name, I'm going to grab all the orders. I'm going to take range here, which is a value that I could change, for instance, with here pagination. And because I'm on Vue.js, I'm going to put ref here. Okay, so I would need to import ref from Vue in my case. There we go. So here I got pagination. Let's say I'm going to put pagination here. So pagination.value. There we go. And when I get back and I update, what's going to happen is that I got from 0 to 9. Imagine later I want to do an infinite scroll on all the orders. What I would do is that at first I would grab the 10 orders. I would scroll down. And what I would do is to store those orders into an array. And then with the pagination, I would just increase this number to fetch the new orders coming from 10 to 19, for example. What about filtering? So here you got a lot of examples on how to filter, okay, on how to filter your orders. So let's say that right now, let's look at it. And here I got Michael Johnson, okay, so let's say that I'm going to grab this name, Michael Johnson here, okay, and let's say that I would like to have the order of Michael Johnson. So right now I only got one, but what I would do is coming back here and using point equal, so I'm going to go here, and here the column would be name, because on orders I got a column name, and let's say that I'm going to put Michael Johnson as a result. I would like to have only the orders of Michael Johnson for any reason. So I'm going to get back here. I'm going to update and look at this. I got the order of Michael Johnson. So I used dot equal to do it. All right. I could use also greater than. So greater than would be, for instance, if I would have a number, because right now I don't get any price in my order. What I would do is actually to put the column price greater than, and I would put the number. And there's a lot of other options, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, case sensitive. So here it would be very nice to try. Another comparator would be is. Here we could see that we want to match the columns in order that will be null. So actually I would have all of them because right now it's a problem. You could use in to do some comparison on a column with an array, with array values. So here you would put an array and here you would do some comparison, etc., etc. So you can find this in API docs filtering here, and you get a lot of options to deal with some filtering on some columns. All right, I got a button here, insert fake order. I'm not going to put a full form. You can do it. It's really easy. And when I'm going to click on it, I'm going to insert a new order. So I'm going to pass to 20 records down there. Okay. So I'm going to insert a new order. So what I need to do here is to grab the function to insert a new order. So I'm going to get back here, and instead of having all of this, I'm going to use exactly the same. So here I'm going to copy paste this function here, and I'm going to not trigger fetch order here, but to trigger it on my button. So down there I'm going to type on click insert order. So right now I don't get this function. What I need to do is to create this function. So let's change it up there. Insert order. Okay, so when I'm going to click on insert order, it's going to insert an order. However, what I need to do is to write this function. So I'm going to get back here. I'm going to insert this one. And here I got to insert actually a fake order. So I'm not obliged to put an array here. Here they put an array because maybe sometimes you would like to insert several elements, but I'm just going to put my order here. So let me write a fake order based actually on the model of my database. All right, so I created a new order, but this time there is no ID and no created at. Why? It's really simple to understand. Remember, our table order actually generate the ID and generate at the same time the created at. Okay, so I can't push any ID that I would invent by myself here because it will not match to what we created on the table orders. So I got this order with address, zip code, etc., etc. I can even put a price, so I'm going to put 12, for instance. And when I'm going to click on this insert order, it will push this into my database. So what I want to do, I want to say if there is data, I want to console log the data. Okay, so let's look at what it's going to give to do this. My call is passed with a 201. There we go. And if I get back to my orders, there we go. We've got 20 records. So it means that somewhere here and at the end, of course, I got my order with the 12 into the price. And it's about Emily Williams. So I'm going to show it here. There we go. So now let's grab again the orders of Emily Williams. So I'm creating a new function called fetch orders from Emily Williams. I'm going to get down this way. So I'm going just to show it this way. And instead of having this insert that we have here, I'm going to put select all the orders, and I'm going to use the client ID because here I can just identify Emily Williams with her client ID. So I'm going to grab this one here. I'm going to console log this, and there we go. So here it's going to be orders, and I'm going to console log the orders, and I'm going to fetch the orders from Emily Williams. Back in my application, I update, and look at this. I got the two orders of Emily Williams, once with 12 as a price and once with null. Another thing that I could do is instead of using this, I could use the name. So now I'm going to grab the name of Emily Williams. There we go. And here I'm going to put name. And when I get back, I got the same results. I got the order of Emily Williams. You have to be always clear about what you want to fetch. Either it's going to be the name, either it's going to be the client ID. All right? Be safe because sometimes you may have some error if you don't match the right client ID or the name, okay? So right now I got the two Emily Williams matching with the same client ID, but in the two cases I'm supposed to have two orders. If you would have 3 and 2 in one, it would mean that either the client ID would be false, either your name would be false also. Okay, so this time we want to update an order of Emily Williams. And if I look at my list down there, we see that here, Emily Williams has a price null on a specific element ID, which is this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a function, and here it's not going to be insert in order. This function will be actually const update Emily Williams order, okay? So this is a very bad practice that I'm showing here to you, but it's just into the context. So I'm going to do always the same. So it's going to be a try catch, and here it's not going to be insert order, but it's going to be update Emily Williams order. So I'm going to get back down there, update Emily Williams order. Okay, for this example, I'm going to get back to the documentation and I'm going to grab this code, which is update here. Okay, what I want to do here is to target a specific order. So here I'm going to type here that I'm looking for a order with a specific ID. And remember, it's this specific ID down there with the price null. So I'm going to grab this ID and I'm going to put it here. And what I want to update is the price. And let's say that here I'm going to put a 200. Okay, so I'm going to console log the error if I got an error, and I'm going to console log the data if there is data, like always. So console log data. There we go. So I'm going to update the order of Emily Williams with this ID and change its price. But the thing here is that I didn't add on row level security the policy to update my orders. So I'm going to click here on get started and I'm going to put here for update using auth.gwt. All right, let's try again. If I click on update Emily's order, there's nothing happening. But if I update my table and I look at the price, there we go, it worked. We've got the price at 200 down there. And if I'm checking to my orders, there we go, I got 200 here on the price of my table. Okay, now let's delete this order. Really easy to do. Like always, we go here and we've got a delete row, delete matching row. We're gonna grab this and I'm going to do exactly the same. All right, I got a function called delete Emily William order. Inside, I got the equivalent to the ID of the order that I want to delete. I got delete here. And when I'm gonna click down there, I will trigger the function. But before, I need to add a new row level security. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to go down. And what I'm gonna do, I'm going to use this template on authenticated again. And actually, auth UID will be related to client ID. So that's a good example. Remember, I got a client ID here. So let's say that we would like that only Emily Williams will be able to delete her own order. We would have to match, actually, this client ID with the current session I am in. Right now, it's not the case. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put true for the example, but don't do it. All right, I got my row level security. So now I'm getting back, I'm updating. I'm going to click on delete Emily William order and I'm going to update again. And right now I got only one order because I deleted the previous one. In this course, we saw that we can read, insert, update or delete element with the SDK of Supabase. Before, what we have to do is to always work on the row level security on the authentication part on policies and to enable some cases if we want to insert, select, update or delete our elements from the table coming directly from our Supabase instance.